All right, so India and Vietnam will be conducting a joint naval drill in the South China Sea amidst heightened tensions with Beijing. The two-day passage exercise, or PASEX, will begin from tomorrow. And the drills are the first one since the Galwan incident between India and China at the line of actual control in Ladakh, where India lost about 20 of its military personnel. Meanwhile, the Indian Navy's INS Kilton has already reached Vietnam to participate in the drill. The warship reached the country with about 10 tons of humanitarian aid under India's Mission Sagar. In a statement, the Indian Navy has said, and I quote, "The current visit seeks to enhance maritime cooperation between the two navies and will also further bolster the strong bonds of friendship between India and Vietnam and will contribute to the security and stability of the region." India and Vietnam have increased high-level engagement, including defense cooperation, amidst China's growing expansionist policies. Now, earlier this week, New Delhi has handed over the first of the 12 high-speed guard boats to the country. Vietnam has time and again called out Chinese aggression in the South China Sea. All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of what's actually going to happen, we are joined in by Siddhant Sabila, who's joining us live on this broadcast. Good morning to you, Siddhant. Bring us up to speed as to what is to take place in this joint naval exercise between India and Vietnam.
Well, these are PASEX exercises. PASEX exercises are just exercises which are non-contact and passing through a specific area. In the past, after, of course, the Galwan incident, we had PASEX exercises with the Russians, with the Americans in the Indian Ocean. Now, of course, they are happening in South China Sea. India has had in past these exercises with other ASEAN members, including with Vietnam as well. But this time, of course, the exercise is coming even as the Chinese actions have been very aggressive, whether it's with Vietnam, whether it's with India, or whether it's with other neighboring countries of China. But by and large, the announcement came just a few days after India and Vietnam had a virtual summit. This was, of course, the 9th virtual summit of the Indian Prime Minister. The summit, of course, happened on Monday. And there were several key focus areas from defense to security to culture, and the announcement coming just few days after, it shows that the summit was not only substantive, but there were many decisions. Of course, there are some decisions which are not public, but there are some decisions which are made public. In fact, number of MOUs were signed, but one key pillar of relationship has emerged between New Delhi and Hanoi is the defense partnership. As you highlighted, the first of the high-speed boats were given. In fact, there will be more high-speed boats which will be given in a few months' time, and 7 of these are being constructed in Vietnam itself. So largely it is defense partnership that is something that is emerging as a key link between the two countries. But earlier this year, we know that ASEAN being the host of Vietnam being the host of ASEAN had invited India for the East Asia Summit and other summits as well. So by and large, this is a relationship that will see more such developments in coming few years and months.
Absolutely, indeed, Siddhant. And I also want you to weigh in on what this means for the India-China equation. China, of course, considers the South China Sea as its sphere of influence. And with India taking part in these PASEX exercises along with Vietnam in the South China Sea is, of course, not going to sit well with China.
Well, this is something that will surely raise eyebrows in Beijing. We do expect a reaction from Beijing, perhaps next week, because, of course, the holiday season has begun. But largely, if you look at India's Indo-Pacific vision, or in fact, the statement made by the Indian Prime Minister at the virtual summit, he clearly mentioned that Vietnam is a key pillar of India's Act East policy and Indo-Pacific vision. Through the Indo-Pacific vision, India is connecting Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, and that means India has the right to pass through international waters of South China Sea, because this exercise is going to take place in international waters. But according to the definition by the Chinese, 90% of South China Sea belongs to China. This, of course, has been dismissed by the UNCLOS, that is United Nations Law of Seas, in 2016. Beijing, of course, hasn't accepted the decision. But by and large, in the past, the Chinese have been in Indian Ocean. There have been increased Chinese presence, and even as we speak, there are 3 Chinese warships in Indian Ocean. So reciprocally, India should also be in South China Sea. But in the past, India has shied away from doing that because that might irk Beijing. But things and equations have changed, specifically in 2020. And India, of course, has the right to go through that area. Of course, there will be some aggressiveness, perhaps, in the words by the Chinese diplomats because of India taking part in this exercise.
I think you raised a very important point there, where China has, of course, been trying to expand its footprint in the Indian Ocean. China has in the past described the Indian Ocean as the Indian Ocean and not India's ocean. Will India be now an important and a significant player in the South China Sea?
Well, this is an incremental step. This is one of the first decisions perhaps taken by New Delhi after the Galwan incident. In the past also India has been doing, but we can expect India expanding its footprint in that part of the world under the Indo-Pacific concept, because as the Indian External Affairs Minister pointed out, for India, the Indo-Pacific is something from the eastern shore of Africa to the Pacific till the western coast of the Americas. And this is something that troubles China, because the Chinese see increased Indian influence from across the region, and this is just something that China would not be very happy to see, because China sees South China Sea as part of its territory, as part of its backyard, and the increased Indian footprint is going to have some trouble for them. And we do expect India to increase. In fact, India is doing that not only in South China Sea but also with the Central Asian countries which share border with China, and also with Mongolia. In fact, the Mongolian envoy spoke to WION recently, and he talked about how India is the spiritual neighbor of Mongolia. Mongolia, of course, has only two neighbors, Russia and China, but he said that we are connected to New Delhi through democracy, through dharma, and this is something that, of course, China will be closely watching. And this comes even as China has been increasing its influence in South Asia. We know what's happening in Nepal, how the Chinese envoy has been meeting with various stakeholders, and this is something being noted here in New Delhi. So clearly, world has seen a complete change, and there is no definition of its own backyard. Everyone is trying to go in regions which in the past have been holy cows.
Absolutely, indeed. We'll have to leave there. Thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sibil, for joining us and getting us all those insights. A very important development there, where the naval exercises, joint naval exercises called the Pacific exercises, will take place jointly between India and Vietnam.
Co-presented by Skoda. Simply clever.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.